Yeah. Thanks for having me. So I'm watching the game also now. Yeah.
And how are you feeling?
Come back from teachers' parent conference at my daughter's school.
Oh, very good.
Oh, wow. She's doing great in school?
She's doing great, yes. So that's why I'm in a very good mood.
Oh, awesome. But what about the position, Gary? How do you feel about what happened today for Fabi?
Look, I think he underestimated potential threats for White. So I guess he was thinking positionally, and he liked probably his rooks doubled on F-file. As a matter of fact, I analyzed this a long time ago. I think once I played this black setup against Peter Swidler in Moscow, it's 2004, and I actually didn't think that the position was really dangerous for black, because typically, that's when you look at the games played before and overall evaluation, they all thought that black was worse. My view was that there was plenty of play there, and Peter actually deviated. He didn't play this plan with F4. He did something else. Was trying to activate his pawn on the queen side, and I think that Magnus had just excellent position after moving his pieces and after when he played knight d7. So I knew already that Fabi could be in trouble, because it was so easy to play for black. He didn't have to think much, and also the timing factor. Plus, don't forget, it's a world championship match, and there's a huge pressure on Fabiano. So playing the first game, and if you have to make some big decisions, it's not easy. And definitely he hasn't expected this kind of challenge in game one, and there were definitely many moments where he could have done better job by defending his position. I don't know. I haven't checked it, but my first instinct is that probably you could sacrifice an exchange on move, I think, 26. Mm-hmm. So did you make comments? Because I was at that time.
Yes.
That was our expectation.
That's
Gary.
what we expected as well, Gary.
We thought the exchange sacrifice was actually quite okay for Fabi.
Yeah, it seems to me that then at least he could have immediately knight to bring knight on g4 or f5, and he could have very solid position there. So I didn't see how black could make real progress. So that's because keeping this pawn on f4 and trying to play this very sort of in a very quiet, subtle way, I think it didn't serve him well. And I think is again at move. I'm looking at the screen now. Move 33 was e5 his best chance.
Yeah, that was definitely. That's our feeling as well. Yeah. That f5 was a missed opportunity.
So how much time did he have at that time?
Very little.
Very little. Now, because again, it's you understand that if black plays queen g5 or queen anywhere and h5, the white knight is just totally will be cut from action.
Exactly.
So if e5, you could probably you could just destroy black coordination. Bishop no longer protects this pawn. You can activate your queen, and then potentially you can hope for some exchanges and end up with probably I think it might be a rook's ending with pawn down, but probably is a draw.
Exactly.
So e5 definitely was the right. Again, instinctively, I think in blitz he would have played at e5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes the certain moves you make with your hand, but I think now just being under pressure, he didn't want to make big decisions, and actually I think he missed moment where he could still bring his knight into real action.
Gary, it sounds like you've played at 1 or 2 world championships yourself, the way you're talking. But tell us about the tension it is to play this first game
as a challenger.
It's still
after knight f1.
Yeah. I think it's the if Magnus delivers this game, that will be a huge challenge for Fabi, because it's game one, and in modern chess, the 12 games is not such a short distance, because they do much more preparation before the game. So each game basically just requires massive investment of your energy preparing for the game. So that's why I would say that 12 games now, if it doesn't equal 24 games when I played against Karpov, it definitely equals 16 games of say, Kramnik matches.
Now, if the prospect of Fabi losing this game, beyond just the fact that it starts out 0-1, what can you say about the game itself? Do you feel like this is more impressive by Magnus or distressful from Fabi?
No, I think Fabi definitely hasn't considered this opening as something that's would be Magnus will play seriously. Oh, by the way, Magnus played a very lousy move now, H4, as you could see, as we spoke. I think it's okay. Fabi is under tremendous time pressure, but I think game may take a different turn now.
Why is H4 such a bad move?
Giving up that G4 square.
Well, what position is the current position?
Knight F1, H4.
Knight F1, H4.
No, Knight F1, Queen went back to G5, Knight H2, and then H4, I believe is the position.
Sorry.
H4.
No,
I look at the H4 and it doesn't look. I mean, can he play E5 now?
Can he play E5 now? Opening up for Queen takes C6, and we had talked about the ideal square for the knight, and E4 would be a nice outpost. But tell us why you really despise the move H4. You just that. No,
I think it is it's the conventional wisdom. You play black for his game, you try to play, solid. I bet that Fabi has been expecting some sort of Berlin, so that's it. And all of a sudden, Magnus played, strategically quite risky opening. So, but again, I think Magnus is quite good in just picking up positions where it looks risky at first point. When you have go Knight F8, Bishop E6, and then you create a bunch of weaknesses there. White has semi-open file with rooks double there, but potentially, yes, some serious counterplay. He has two bishops, and if everything goes well, his king, goes to the queen side as it happened, and then he could start pushing pawns on the king side. And it's a serious challenge. And if you're not prepared for this challenge, then it's very difficult to start sort of regrouping during the game. Yeah, and definitely Fabi was unprepared. And again, as we spoke, he missed his chance. I think it's a solid advantage to Magnus, and Bishop E5 now coming. I think it looks pretty nasty.
Okay, sorry. What happened, Maurice, after the move H4? Jennifer, what took place after H4? Did he play E5?
He did not play E5. That's what Gary's saying.
Gary was
as he's looking at the
pushing
board.
For it, but
yes.
what did he play instead?
I believe he moved his king away with King D2.
King D2.
Fabi is only playing on the increment, you guys. This is another few moves. He's trying to just make it to time control, but the time is now.
King D2 really looks bad, actually. I don't like that move at all. I thought E5 wasn't just a good move. I thought it was forced. You just have to make some space for your pieces.
After even at C3 now, and I bet you that 1 point Rook G3 will be winning.
So Bishop E5 has come and C3 has come. And Gary, just to catch up, you're saying that Rook G3, when it arrives, it could be decisive?
At some point, I don't know, maybe now, maybe just, we play Bishop E5 or B5 first, but Rook G3 looks so tempting now because of C3 and Queen goes, Queen A1 after take, H3, Queen goes on A1, and it's the total collapse of White's position on the king side. So the king is king is exposed now.
So that's probably what Magnus was thinking when he played that H4, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly. But after E5, he could potentially actually start bringing his knight on E4, maybe knight D2, knight E4. Again, if he could somehow regroup and bring his knight into the game, he had probably some good chances to survive. So I think that after E5 and then maybe knight D2, knight D4, that game could be different.
If you were on Fabi's team and he does end up losing this game, what would you tell him?
S, bishop e5. Did
which I'm not
bishop
sure is
e5,
the right.
King went to c2, and I'm just looking. I'm recreating the game, actually. If I've recreated it right, Jennifer, you let me know.
Yeah, this is what Gary is talking about, indeed.
Queen
and he's
G7.
saying, so Gary, you're saying that when you look at top tournaments, you do not use an engine while you're looking. You don't ever.
Oh no, why? I'm practicing, so that's why. I'm looking at the position. I'm an amateur these days, so I don't have to analyze this position. Yeah, so everybody else is looking at the engines. And by the way, the last few years of my active professional life in chess, that was my algorithm when I worked with Yuri Dokhoyan and with Alexander Shakarov. So three of us were sitting there. So Shakarov was looking at the screen, just following the opening lines. So just to make sure that we have access to database and offer some suggestions. Yuri had the engine in analysis mode, and I just had the chessboard. So that's why I had just to make sure that I could analyze with two assistants who are empowered by the machine. But I never used computer just during the active chess preparation when I played chess professionally.
Well,